do bringing Joseph Boga to do what? Why have you done for local county? Why have you done for rehab? Why have you done for himself? People should not fool us around here. We're not stupid around here. We're not stupid. 12 years, they looted this country. More Ali, they all this squandered the country. All sat down. No control. When you talk the arrogant life with us speaking to people, then we'll still put them back.
I bring my medical background to this thing here. So if you are sick and you went to the hospital, there are two models that they will treat you from. The first model is called the allopathic model. The second model is called the homeopathic model. In the allopathic model, let's say you have a headache. You go in, that's a symptom. The symptom is there. The doctor says, okay, you have a headache. So the doctor provides what is called a remedy. They'll probably say, okay, give you paracetamol. And that paracetamol will take that headache away. Once it's gone away, then that paracetamol has provided a relief. So you have a symptom, and then you have a remedy, and you have a relief. But what happens to your body? Your body, though it is experiencing that relief, it is considered a continual dysfunction. So the homeopathic side, you have the same headache, and there is what you call a root cause analysis. So now you go to the hospital, they'll take blood from you. And then if you have a headache, they'll probably put your head in like a CT scan, or do an MRI on your head just to find out. Maybe maybe they took a blood from you and realized that you had some infection, and they maybe prescribed to you or amoxicillin, and then they gave you the paracetamol. So the symptom is experienced, the root cause analysis is done, and the problem is identified. And what do they do? They provide the same remedy as in the allopathic.
Unity Party have no face. They have no argument. They have no justification. No reason to even tell the people that they want to come back. If I'm part of Unity Party, but now I have resigned. Because the mess that we are facing, President White is going through the difficult time, it's Unity Party who created all those mess. Today, how many times do you hear that a student at University of Liberia protesting? How many times? Today, electricity is almost all over. It's 100%, but it's better than yesterday.
Two primary reasons. Electricity transforms the quality of your life. Just imagine the day LEC turns on in your house, how it changes the quality of your life, what it means to you. And secondly, it helps to stimulate economic growth, because now there are new opportunities open to the private sector to engage in commercial activities. And so I'm happy also to report that a survey of businesses have reported back to us that they now have savings of up to 35% on their energy cost. That's 35% of expenditure that they can now put into new investments.
Why are they delaying to give us the duplication of cars? My question to them was, are you buying time to incorporate these duplicated cars into the voter roll? Because if these people are duplicating the cards, and you say, just a submission of that card and the person name a picture on the voter roll, they will vote without taking their bio information, then there's a reason why we should suspect the delay. Maybe the delay.
At the first round, we call for absolute majority of the vote, meaning you must have 50% plus one, then you win the first round, meaning there's no second round. If no candidate obtained absolute majority, 50% plus one in the first round, a second ballot shall be conducted on the second Tuesday following the announcement of the results of the first ballot. Second Tuesday, I will end here. I don't have to go all the way down. Second Tuesday following the announcement of the result of the first ballot. If you need to plan for elections, second round, the time the law tells you we need to conduct the second round, do you expect for us to get the money after announcing the results before we start running being a Ministry of Finance, or before we start making preparation? Election doesn't work like that. While we are talking about now, the commission start to engage for that money. The commission start to make preparation for a possible second round.
I'm pleased to inform you again that in a few weeks, Liberia will go to the polls in keeping with the Liberian Constitution to vote in our scheduled presidential and legislative elections. The October polls will mark the fourth peaceful general elections in Liberia since the end of the Civil War in 2003. The 78th session is taking place at the time when my country is preparing for the first election since the withdrawal of the UN peacekeeping presence on Liberia. The October 10 election is an opportunity to sustain the gains made in our reconstruction and development processes. The government of Liberia has taken all necessary measures to ensure a free, fair, transparent, peaceful, inclusive, and credible elections. The National Election Commission has been strengthened to ensure that it operates without undue influence. In addition, political parties have committed themselves to a non-violent electoral process by signing the 2023 Farmington River Declaration, which obligates all actors in the elections to continue to promote peace.
Not surprising that the committee, the chairperson of the Election Commission, very unprofessional and very, very unruly. We had a discussion with the Election Commission. There are several things that we realize, and we need to increase the tempo and the pressure on the Election Commission to ensure that the final voter roll will be published and submitted to political parties and stakeholders. The discussions in there have also informed us that instead of Tuesday, as they were insinuating or suggesting, they are asking for indefinite time up to between now and next Friday. Election is 3 weeks from now, and the Election Commission said within 1 week, there is no guarantee that the final voter roll will be submitted to political parties and stakeholders.
I'm one of the proponents in propagating the proper agenda, the PFPD. And today you say, what I'm hoping to offer. You're supposed to ask me not in English.
Are you being supported?
Brother, I'm saying, don't ask me that question. I think the party is on the obligation
To do for you.
Yeah.
But they aren't doing.
You ask me and you want me to be monotonous. I think
Are they doing for you?
I said, I think the party is on the obligation.
That expression means they aren't. They ought to.
I said, the party is on the obligation.
They are doing it for you directly.
Speak English, man. I beg you. Let's move on.
You don't want to come straight.
No, but same Andrew. I don't know what you mean. I said, the party is on the obligation because I'm one of the progenitor.
That is what you get when the hobo pejoratively no with the hope of bamboozle, razudazo, rasmatas politically. He was supercalifragilistic expialidocious. Supercalifragilistic expialidocious is a way of saying the president was fantastic. But his political enemies said he was suffering from what I describe as new, more microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. It's a word that is supposed to be called silicosis, meaning a long disease. But search for the longest word in the dictionary, they put it up to become a 45-letter word, which is new mono ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. What an odium! What an ignominious memento! That even at the barbitration of the so much acclamata, the same subsidy evacuation of barbitration was condemned by a scrupulous, fastidious, puritanical, bossero, energetic, and a routine, but today for political somnambulism and malocclusion, reticent, taciturn, uncommunicative, and unforthcoming, meaning he has control in their home.
Don't show me nothing too much of that.
I love you. I miss you. I want you back. Long time no see. Without your love, I'm lonely. I miss you. It's too hard to bear. What have you done to me? Waking up in the middle of the night without you. And it's so unfair. I toss and turn, reach for you, only my pillow. sun away. Morning sun rises, I'm alone. Christmas song. 1, 2, 3, 11.
It's another day again, people, that we discuss the issues as they unfold. Can say how important you are, how massive, how extraordinary, how I appreciate you.
I want you back.
You, yeah, in Morovia, and those of you in Kakatamagibi County listening to 89.7. And on the online radio, www.voiceofliberiaradio.com.
I have no appetite.
But I always have appetite. Always, always. You've got to have info appetite. When you can blend the two, then it's much better for you going forward. Info appetite and food appetite. Good afternoon. Thank you so very kindly that you joined us for the final lap of the week's show, Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 89.7 with me, Sam Andrews, on this 22nd day of September, and we are transmitting from Capital Bypass. When you are coming from Central Morovia, Broad Street area, we are right or immediately after Dunkin' gas station. If you're coming from the Sinker area, we are before Dunkin' gas station. We've got the issues to talk about. At 3 o'clock, the man responsible or who manages Integrity Watch Liberia, Arado, is in to talk about all things campaign finance. You see these political parties, their expenditure, you see cars, pickups, different kinds, posters, billboards, and a lot more. Over the time, you have not known that all of these things are worthy of accountability or the fall within accountability. All that you are accustomed to is campaign with the excitement, but all of these things count. The National Elections Commission said they struck an agreement or enter memorandum of understanding with Integrity Watch Liberia to oversee these things. A couple of days ago, they released a statement, and part of that statement is damning. So I reached out to Integrity Watch Executive Director Hara Ado and asked him to come in to give an understanding of the told the public. He consented. So we await him at 2:30, 2:45. I want to give him ample time to explain so that you understand it good, and you also can have ample time to ask him all of the questions you got. That will be at 3 o'clock. Hara Ado, Executive Director, Integrity Watch Liberia, is in to talk about integrity campaign 2020 or 2023, October 10th, integrity. All of those themes will be discussed. So he's in at 2:45. Until then, while we await Parado, we got 18 days to go. 18 days to go, and we want to keep the atmosphere peaceful, as we have always been, relatively as it is, not bad, but we can go beyond that tempo. We can increase our relevance, our security, the intellectual side of the campaign, avoiding violence of any kind or nature, and move into October 10th. Over the days, we have had statements coming from some of the stakeholders, and very many of you have been troubled and still feel trouble. But I should say to you that why it is true that you are right, you've got every reason to be troubled because the statement itself is troubling. But do not be troubled further. Nothing going to happen. It is my opinion that those who made such statement have realized the wrong, have realized the enormity of the damage, not physically, but psychological, and they opted not to make such a statement again with just 18 days to go. Every one of us are stakeholders. Everybody wants to operate in a peaceful atmosphere, a secure environment, a non-violent culture. Everyone wishes for that. Nobody will want to be in a culture that isn't secure, an environment that is threatening. Certainly not. Nobody wants that. No. So all of us have got the responsibility to ensure that we maintain a peaceful atmosphere, non-violent, respecting each and everybody's view, and not making statements that are inimical and counterproductive to our very self or against our very selves. Yet we portray a patriotic, quote unquote, patriotic or nationalistic picture. We can be an irony of ourselves. So I appeal to all of us that we keep the atmosphere as stable, as secure, as non-violent. That way, we can have, or it can give us a preview that October 10th will be free, fair, transparent, and credible. As the National Elections Commission have stated, the chief citizen, the president, have stated, uh, Joe Boakai, I read that in Bakpolu County, he had an interview with schools of journalists there, coupled with those that are following him on his tour. He took up time to speak to them, and one of the questions was the October 10th elections, and his response was that he trusts the National Elections Commission. They took oath, they got a duty to serve, and he has no doubt that the elections will not be credible and transparent. Thank you for saying that. So every if we it is not to say that nothing can happen, but it simply means that when we can trust with no doubt the commission and wait to see whether it can prove our doubts wrong, it keeps the atmosphere unique. We can intellectualize, you can put forth your points, you can disagree with certain position, but you want to leave everything with the National Elections Commission. They are the ones who are conducting. If there is anything that is observed by any one of you political parties, independent candidate, presidential candidate, there are channels by which those issues can be addressed. Every situation has a remedy. It has a channel. And then you will know what to do from there. And that will take us to our first pointer. Yesterday, I told you people that the that Unity Party had some disagreement, some uncomfortability, or uncomfortable with the VR submission to them as political parties, so that they assess it is a key factor. They can just operate in a blue sky that, oh yes, okay, the National Elections Commission is conducting the elections, everything is fine, let's look up to them. No, everybody is a stakeholder, and these people who are contesting the elections, these political parties, are the main players that should have access to every other thing as required by the law. Nothing about the National Elections Commission should be hidden. Nothing about the National Elections Commission should be circumventing. The National Elections Commission has to be straight, transparent in all of dealings with the public, the players, the partners, everybody. Some of these political parties have started to raise concern before then, before now. And now, Unity Party will move to assemble at the commission headquarters. The date today, and at the close of the day, they said that the National Elections Commission could not give them anything convincing. but rather that they will opt for time or beg for time. Senator Abraham Darius DeLong will lead the UP delegation there. And he was very uncomfortable from what he heard in that meeting. He also said that in the meeting, the chairman of the commission was not at her best in terms of deportment, in terms of conduct, that the way she approached them and then walk out was bad mannerism, that she needed to have explained to them because they are key players in the elections. And the elections law calls for putting the VR at their disposal so that they know how to move beyond that going into 2023, October 10th. Let's have a listen to Senator Darius DeLong today at the headquarters of the National Elections Commission on 9th Street.
Why are they delaying to give up the duplication of cars? Our question to them was, are you buying time to incorporate these duplicated card holders into the voter roll? Because if these people are duplicating the cards, and you say, just by submission of that card and the person need a picture on the voter roll, they will vote without taking their bio information, then there's a reason why we should suspect the delay. Maybe the delay is not surprising that the chairperson of the Elections Commission, very unprofessional and very, very unruly. So we had a discussion with the Elections Commission. There are several things that we realize, and we need to increase the tempo and the pressure on the Elections Commission to ensure that the final voter roll will be published and submitted to political parties and stakeholders. The discussions in there have also informed us that instead of Tuesday, as they were insinuating or suggesting, they are asking for indefinite time up to between now and next Friday. The election is 3 weeks from now, and the Election Commission said within 1 week, there is no guarantee that the final voter roll will be submitted to political parties and stakeholders. If this is not very concerning, then I don't know what is even more concerning. It's probably the enterprise is very unprofessional. Something is haunting this lady, and the country won't suffer. Miata formula was there. One of the commissioners was there. NAC officers were there. I think 1 or 2 media persons were there. When I almost really unprofessionally walk out of us and refer us to our commissioner, especially of Western Place. And knowing that we came out of very crucial issue, but we suspend our unruly attitude for now and gave the briefing to the public as it should be. We want to say to our people that the Election Commission doesn't seem to be ready. Even the remaining of the funding, the $3.2 million, is not being received yet by the Election Commission. And the $3.2 million that is supposed to be received by the Election Commission is supposed to be that amount that's supposed to run us into a possible elected runoff in case since the 29th of August, the commission appeared before the Senate and I asked them this very question about funding. They said 3.2 million, if it is available, we can hold runoff. And today is the 22nd of September, and they are still running after that money. It's troubling. As a stakeholder, we appropriated a budget and we ensure that the finance ministry will make that money available. Number one. Number two, the Election Commission is under obligation to have to erase any perception of cheating or intent to do vote rigging. If you have issues, technical issues, which sometimes happen, be professional, be proactive with the information. Invite stakeholder political parties so they can come along with the technical people so that they can understand what's going on. if you shoot the information, have we not blown this alarm? Have we not raised this alarm and it's that we're coming here today? We wouldn't know that there's problem here, technical, according to them, technical issues. You did biometric vote registration. Election Commission is not going to take any of your bio data to vote. They will not identify you by your bio, either your hand or your thumbprint. I'm just saying, once you submit that ID card and your name is on the voter roll, you will go vote. Why are they delaying to give up the duplication of cards? Our question to them was, are you buying time to incorporate these duplicated card holders into the voter roll? Because if these people are duplicating the cards, and you say, just by submission of that card and the person needs a picture on the voter roll, they will vote without taking the bio information. Then there's a reason why we should suspect a delay, maybe delay to create the room to incorporate these new inclusions.
Now you have observed in the process. What's the way forward?
The way forward is to keep the pressure and so also consider some legal action.
How does next week Friday, where the case is set, the photo will be published? How does it appear to you? Is it something that is just impossible?
Election is 3 weeks away. The election commission is not set as to when political parties. You have to print the voter roll. You have to have your technical people to verify and do some reconciliation between the preliminary and the final. Then you have to print political parties and independent candidates. You have to print those documents to send across the country for your poll watcher. And if the election commission is delayed to 1 week, 2 weeks to election, all political parties get the time to verify, reconcile, print before they send it across the country. Don't you see the trouble here?
So you suspect that they are we serious? So the person is not
That question, it has the answer already. If the election commission is playing with the final voter roll for political parties to take photos,
that will lead to chaos.
that's to answer the question.
Are we
The question is answered by your question.
Are we
So
seriously-
people want it.
Are we safely or are we still putting person?
Let's hope we don't reach it.
What do you think?
Let the election commission do its work. And we will take appropriate steps to ensure that this body will do its work within a shortest period of time to submit the photo. Have you heard any political party disagree?
I mean, if they are insupported, they are insupported.
You want me here now to change the discussion? CPP or other parties were not here. What we here for is in the interest of everybody. Have you heard any political party say we disagree with one side of the
other? Yesterday said, aside from publishing the voter roll, there is a portal on the National Commission website where electoral voters can choose their representation number to know whether they stay on the voter roll.
If that portal does not carry the photo, when you have it, you in the media, you hear things that people taking people voter ID, they know. So if somebody talk, somebody is normal and not part of your income, the person information for no photo. Is that something that you rely on? Something is not here. The problem is not the final photo roll with the photo. We want the final photo roll with the photo.
So are you going to continue your
That is a serious issue. It may look as ordinary, but it is very, very significant, very serious. Because that's what the law provides. Not about a person or personality. Not about how political institution looks like. It is about the law. That's what the law says. You can bury the law. and you circumvent it. If the law provides for that, the law provides a time frame for that to be done, it has to. The reason the law provided that with all of the options so that there wouldn't be a crisis going into the elections. Because if that doesn't happen and it becomes so strong, there's every likelihood that you have crisis. Already there's crisis. It's crisis of indifference, right? Yeah. Unity Party is saying, NEC is saying no. NEC might say no, even though they are the kind of institution that will not react. When I say will not react in a situation like this, they will leave the public in limbo. And they will expect you to be running to the office. And when you go there, they send you to this person will send you to this person, just like that. Now, it is not a surprise that he will talk about seeking legal redress. What he meant by that short expression is if the National Elections Commission cannot convince them, cannot hand them what they deserve in accordance with the law, they will take the National Elections Commission to court to compel it to release the document onto them because it is their constitutional, electoral, democratic birthright. It is their entitlement. That's what it was saying. Or it seems that if the National Elections Commission cannot respond to them within the time frame that the law says, and they continue to agitate for it in a safer manner, and they cannot get remedy, the next time they will go to court. And what happened? That might cause some stalemate, or it might stall some things within the corridor leading to October 10th. And it's very likely other political parties who experiencing or have not received theirs as the law provides might join Unity Party to put more pressure on the National Elections Commission. Now, the National Elections Commission cannot cannot allow itself to be in such a situation for whatever the reason or reasons are best known to themselves. I am only sitting here, and then after we check out with the National Elections Commission, but from integrity point of view, NEC cannot allow itself to be in such a situation. If the law provides for that, and the law provides the time frame, then the National Elections Commission have got to operate within the time frame as provided by the law to these political parties. It is an essential tool. How the National Elections Commission expect these people to go about? It's part of the integrity aspect of the entire electoral process. Electoral integrity is not only going to the elections on October 10th, people cast their vote and the results are announced. This is one of the aspects of integrity. Integrity simply means no duplicity. A whole, nothing is left out, nothing is added, nothing is subtracted, nothing duplicated. So the National Elections Commission should not in any way withhold anything right now. Be as transparent, as credible, as fair you can be with these political institutions as the Lord instructs you to do and be. Do you want several political parties to assemble with their people and barricade your area and then EPS or PSU come in? Then that's the time you will move to say something to these political parties? No, Nick, you don't want to reach that level. You don't want to be the one creating an uneasy atmosphere because that's what leads to revolt. That's what leads to, when I say revolt in this context, I mean when people are uncomfortable, they can't get what they ought to in accordance with the law, then they tell the people, let's go there. Let's us go there and just sit and wait for NEC to tell us something. If they can tell us something, we wouldn't move. And when people see the gathering, the masses gathering, the rest of society gets scared. They would think that something major is about to happen. So next, you don't want to be the one creating that situation. If the law says it and you haven't done it, for whatever the reason you haven't done it, meet them, explain to them expressly why you haven't done it, and when